Welcome to another episode, guys. Yesterday, as some of you may know, I did like a little piece on LaMelo Ball and how well he's been playing this season, especially since becoming a starter. I follow the NCAA as much as I can. Last summer, actually, with coronavirus and all this stuff, I had a lot of time to look at videos of guys who are coming to the league and kind of like their highlights, their weaknesses and strengths and stuff like that. So I had compiled a list of weaknesses and strengths for about 20 to 30 guys in the league, and that's kind of like what I base my draft picks off of. And this is the first time I ever did something like that, and it really got me familiar with some of the guys that I maybe didn't know heading into the draft. So I really did kind of, I don't want to say work hard because all the work was already out there, and I just kind of took it and kind of drew my own conclusions and kind of looked at it and said, hey, that guy might be a steal, if he's there late in the first round, or this is who I think the Raptors should take. And if you look through my videos, which I hope you do, there's a little piece that I did on Malachi Flynn and Jalen Harris. So if you want to, you could take a look at that. It's in my videos, obviously. But I wanted to take this piece and kind of look at some of the rookies that have been playing really well this season, and kind of just give my take and where they are going forward and things like that. So I will not include LaMelo Ball in this specific piece because I did talk about him yesterday, and you can look at my piece. It's up in my videos, so make sure you go and watch that. So it only makes sense to start off with Anthony Edwards. This was a very interesting pick because I thought heading into the draft that Minnesota should have traded this pick. They have D'Angelo Russell, who's a volume shooter. They got Malik Beasley, who's also a volume shooter. They have Cat at center, so they decided not to go the center route. In a perfect world, a 3-and-D guy here would have done them wonders. A little bit high for Isaac Akuro, who I will talk about later on. So they decided to go with Anthony Edwards, who they thought was the best player in the draft. He's a volume shooter, 14 points per game on 14 field goals. His true shooting percentage is around 48. He's 41% from the field. 41% of his field goals come from three, and he's only 32% from there. I think this is just the type of player that he's going to be throughout his career. I think he's going to be a guy who has the same amount of field goals and points per game, which isn't a very good thing for an NBA player. I just think that that's the type of player that he is. And when you add him with D'Angelo Russell, and this could be a little bit of a recipe for disaster if they decide that they want to keep him, unless they end up trading him in a package deal or something like that for like a 3-and-D guy, like I said. The second guy I'm going to look at is James Weisman. I love the pick because it was a position of need. I get that Klay Thompson went down literally like an hour before the draft, and they could have gone a different way. They could have gone with LaMelo Ball. They could have gone with Isaac Okoro, but they decided to go with James Weisman because it is a position of need. They don't really have many centers on this roster. They have Kevin Looney, who's actually out as well. So he's third in points per game. These are all rookie ranks. Third in points per game, first in rebounds, 21st in minutes played, and he's first in blocks. So he's averaging 12 and 6 in 22 minutes, which isn't a lot of game time. So once he gets to that 30-35 minute mark, he's going to be an absolute monster in this league. And I looked up his per 36 numbers, and I absolutely hate per 36 numbers. And he's something like a 22 and 13 guy per 36. So I'll use that just for my benefit. That's something I never look at. I'm just not interested in those numbers per 36 and per 100 possessions. Like, I'm not really interested in that stuff. Very interesting. He is 77% from 0 to 3 feet. So that's 0 to 3 feet within a basket. So for reference, and I'm in no way comparing his career to Shaq. Shaq is 74%. So Basketball Reference does 0 to 3 feet, 3 to 10, I think 10 to 16 or something like that. So those are outstanding numbers. Look, if they're not satisfied where James Wiseman is, maybe in the summer next year, you can always flip them for players. And I hate when rookies have really good seasons and then they end up getting traded. If I were them, I would keep the guy because you're going to get Klay back, and they're going to be making playoff runs yet again. Isaac Okoro, I love the pick when he was selected by the Cavs because of his 3-and-D potential. However, he leads rookies in minutes per game at 34, but he's 12th in points per game. He is 4th in steals though with 23. I get that, playing with Sexton and Garland kind of takes away from most of his game. He's not a real three-point shooter, so he's not really going to do much from there. A lot of his points are going to have to come from in and around the basket until he eventually does develop a three-point shot. There have been games where Garland and Sexton obviously have missed. He's missed some games as well. He hasn't just taken the opportunity yet. I wouldn't worry too much, and I'm not comparing him to OG Anunoby by any chance, but OG's numbers from the first season weren't really that great either. To be fair, OG Anunoby did play with a lot of great players, and Sexton and Garland aren't there yet. They could potentially get there. So I like the pick. It's just very important just to kind of ease him in, and for now he has the players around him to kind of score. His job is to defend, which he does very well. His rebounding numbers need to get a little bit better and stuff like that, but I love the pick. Tyrese Halliburton, he's a great pick, even though I actually thought he'd be a bust. He's 2nd in minutes played, he's 4th in scoring, and he's 2nd in assists. I think the Kings took Halliburton because they thought that they would trade De'Aaron Fox in the offseason. And it's a good thing, considering how well he's playing this season, I think it's a good thing that they didn't trade him. Halliburton obviously will be a starter in this league, probably next season. If the Kings are way out of playoff contention, you could potentially see them starting Halliburton and Fox. Not sure how that would work. If that does happen, that would probably mean that they have flipped Buddy Hield elsewhere, and there's rumors going on now that Barnes may get traded. So I love the pick. He's done really well this season, and he's, I would say, one of the contenders for Rookie of the Year, probably just behind LaMelo Ball as of right now. Another guy is Emmanuel Quickley. He comes from a very good program in Kentucky, where it's sometimes difficult to evaluate players because they have so many 4- and 5-star recruits on the court, to the point where guys are taking shots away from other guys. Not in a bad sense, but there's just not enough basketballs to go around for everyone to get the shot that they'd like. So they kind of intend to enforce play and stuff like that. But he's done extremely well. He's 5th in scoring, 6th in assists, and he could potentially be a starter by the season's end. With the acquisition of Derek Fox, the New York Knicks probably will trade someone, which will be probably Austin Rivers. I can't see them getting rid of Emmanuel Quickley. Probably not RJ Barrett. So let's just assume that this roster is staying the way it is. He could potentially start by the end of the season. I'm going to do the best of the rest kind of thing now. Cole Anthony, he's done very well. He's injured now, but he has shown glimpses of what he can do. So he did start for the Orlando Magic. They've been absolutely banged up this season. They started the season off, I believe, 6-2, and they haven't been very good since. He's banged up, but he has shown glimpses. He can break ankles. He can make tough shots. He had a game winner. He could get to the basket. So it's very important for him to kind of take the challenge, because there is a starting position on this Magic squad, especially at his position, which is point guard. So if he continues to play well, you could fully see him as a starter rest of the season, and then next season I expect him to average 16-17 a game and really take the starting position for the Orlando Magic. Peyton Pritchard, one of the steals of the draft. I loved him. I had him on the board for the Raptors. He did go in the first round, late first round. I thought he was more of a mid to late second round. Don't get me wrong, I love his game. I love the fact that he comes with plenty of experience. He played 4 years at Oregon, so he really understands the game. He's close to the 40, 50, 90 club, believe it or not. He does very well from three. He can, obviously shoot twos and free throws. And, there have been some rumblings about, maybe Kemba Walker gets flipped. If Kemba Walker does get traded, I don't expect Peyton Pritchard, and I wouldn't start him just because it's a lot of pressure for a player coming into his rookie season where he wasn't necessarily pegged as a starter. So I would keep him coming off the bench and maybe go with Marcus Smart or someone else at point guard, depending on what you get for Kemba Walker. And obviously, if the trade does happen, it's just some of the rumblings that we're hearing now. And just keep him coming off the bench. He had a little bit of an injury scare too, but he's doing very well. I'm not surprised, I'm not shocked he's doing this well, because like I said, 4 years experience in college, some of the stuff that you have to teach freshmen or rookies, you don't have to teach him because he was there for 4 years. He's kind of been through ups and downs, and he played for a very good program, so he understands the game at a much higher level. The last guy I'm going to preview is Desmond Bain. He's picked up from the Celtics via trade, which is a very good trade for Memphis. he personally was one of my favorite players in this draft, along with Saddiq Bey and Isaac Okoro. There's a lot of guys I liked in this draft, by the way. As I said, I did a lot of research. He's 48% from three, which is almost as good as he is from 2-point land, which is incredible. He's something like, I think he's 48.7% from three and 48.3 from two, or something very close. Don't quote me on that. His lowest shooting percentage, and again, when you look at the basketball reference, when they do 0 to 3 feet, 3 to 6, I think 6 to 10, his lowest shooting percentage is 37.5, which is really, really good. It's really good for a player who's played many years in the league. It's even better for a rookie coming into the league. And his true shooting percentage is 63%, which is, again, an outstanding number. So Desmond Bain has done really well. He plays on a Memphis team where there's a lot of young players. So you have him, you have John Morant, you have Dylan Brooks. There's just a bunch of other guys. You have Allen, who used to go to Duke. So he's fighting for minutes there, and he's done very well. Another guy I really like was Saddiq Bey. Like, when Saddiq Bey plays a significant role for Detroit Pistons, he really does produce. I really liked his game. And there's obviously a lot of other guys who are not making their mark, maybe with the points and rebounds. But R.J. Hampton is another guy to watch. He's recently getting minutes now. So yeah, let me know below what you guys think. Who you guys think is the Rookie of the Year thus far. Who you expect to emerge as maybe a Rookie of the Year contender in the second part of the season.